Hello, welcome back to Southwest Florida Woodworking. My name is Sean. I'm here to take you on a journey and show you some stuff that I've acquired for my shop. It's kind of a little offshoot of doing projects, and that is acquiring new equipment. I've got some clamps that I want to show you, a plane that I bought. I got some drill bits that are antiques. The power for them will be coming shortly. That will be in a future video. We'll do the unpacking and show you what we got. But this is mostly for showing, some of the stuff that you can get that's fairly decent quality for a cheaper price. Going to Home Depot, Lowe's, or wherever you go to purchase your tools, such as, or going to like Rockler or Woodcraft. I mean, those tools, they're great. If you can afford it and lay out the money for new tools, be my guest. I've found that antiques work just as good and sometimes better. The older manufacturing and the new manufacturing, the quality of the materials that are used between, let's say 50, 60 years ago and today are two completely different things. So without further ado, let's get into this, and I'm going to put the camera on the workbench so you can see what we got, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to start with this box here. This box, I purchased it from eBay, and what they are corner clamps. They're for framing. They're for doing framing and stuff, for like picture frames, or if you're doing shelving work, you can use them to clamp your pieces together. I got some materials underneath the workbench here. I got some pieces that I've cut out and worked with, so I can show you what these things do. If you're doing a 90-degree corner, as you can see, I got two 45s there. You take them and go like this, so you can attach them, do what you got to do, such as picture framing and stuff. I would suggest, and I'm probably going to wind up doing this sometime here in the near future, I've got to make some blocks for these, so if I'm doing picture frames and stuff, they'll be held up off the bench so you can turn it on. But there you go. There's like these here, they've got this slot right here. You can run your saw down the cut line. If it's not perfectly square, like this one is, you can take your saw, run it down the line, and clean up the cut. you know, your miter saw is a little bit off, or the cut just doesn't want to fit right, you can run a saw down it, a couple of passes, shrink it up, and you're good. As far as quality goes, like I said, these are made in China, I think, if I remember correctly, from the ad where I purchased them from. I decided to get them. Why? A, because I needed the clamps, and B, the cost. Right at the moment, you know, I don't have the money to go out and purchase, you know, clamps that are 20 bucks a piece. You know, because I know, like I'm doing this, as you've seen in previous videos, I'm doing this project for the wagon, and I've got to do some framing on the top because the top of the wagon is going to be framed in mortise and tenon joints, but I want to hold them together while I put in pegs. It's got to be a period piece, so a lot of the mortise and tenons, yeah, they're going to have glue, but a lot of it's going to be pegged with wood dowel. So I need to be able to hold the joints together while I'm drilling and driving in a dowel. So that's why I got these clamps. Now, for what I paid for them, it's better than purchasing one clamp. For the price of these 4 clamps, I was able to get these 4 clamps for the price of one. With that being said, I will put a link for the clamps here to the eBay page that I got them from. So if you decide to purchase them, you can do it on your own. Next thing. The other good thing is, if you're using these clamps, like in the situation that I'm using them for, because I want to use them to draw in the wood, put the clamp on the thing. I'm going to stick this one here. You know, of course, I know I need to draw this in just a little bit, so I leave this one loose. Move this up just a bit. And then with this side, I can bring in some force, joints together. I can do my pinning or whatever I'm going to do. If this was a shelf, if this was a vertical shelf, I could be able to, if this was a vertical shelf, I'd be able to drill in from here and put the material together. But as like I said, it's being held together, you know. Like I said, they're made in China. We'll see how long they last. But for the price, you can't go wrong. Alright, that was those. The next thing that I got are these. I got all 6 of these. Basically for the price of 2. They're hardwood parallel clamps, made in China. I feel the quality is a little bit better than what Harbor Freight is selling. I looked at their clamps and I was going to purchase some. I found this set on eBay. For the 6 of them, I paid next to nothing. I paid, I think it was $30 for all 6 clamps, and personally I think that's a decent deal. But I did get 6 of them. And the reason I did purchase 6 of them was due to the fact that I'm going to be using them for my wagon project. They're great for pulling joints together. You know, these clamps are, if you've got to grip odd surfaces like this here, it's got that odd surface, I can take this clamp, get it set, and I can take it and actually make it grip that odd surface. Having some issues here. Well, needless to say, if you're trying to grip some odd surfaces, these will do the trick. I need a bigger one to hit that specific location, but these are the 7-inch ones that I purchased. Like I said, as far as the quality goes, they seem decent. The wood is pretty well finished. They've got metal screws. When they're stamped, you look at the sides, you can see where it says 7-inch wood clamp made in China. It's been burned in. But they're decent clamps. I like the Jorgensen ponies a little bit better, but for the price of these, I couldn't go wrong. At full width, the jaw opening is, let's go and get this one. We'll get one set up here. We'll do a jaw width. The jaw width, it opens up all the way to 3 1/4 inches. For most things, it's perfect, especially if you're doing furniture, cabinet making and stuff. That would work perfectly. The other nice thing is, with these type of clamps, is you can make them go offset one another and still clamp, but clamp at an offset. Okay, I'm going to get this thing closer here. If I need to clamp at an offset, I can clamp at an offset. And still have excellent clamping power. So, like I said, for what I paid for them, they will do the trick. It's just another tool to have in the arsenal for clamping. It's one of the tools that's kind of overlooked. Between these and C clamps, those types of clamps, they're overlooked, and they can be used for quite a bit. So if you're looking for decent clamps, I'll put a link in the bottom of the thing for where I purchased them from. Make your own decision. I personally would go for it. But that's my thing. I mean, if they're going to do the job that I want them to do, and I can get it a little bit cheaper, why not? Alright, so there's the 6 parallel jaw clamps. Actually, they're called hand screws. They can actually put quite a bit of force down. So, there we go. And like I said, I'll put a link in the video so you can take a look at them if you like. Next thing was another thing I bought off of eBay. I got this plane in this file. The file I don't even think I could card it out. It's a very fine mill file. It looks like it's had a bunch of stuff shoved into it. I'll try and clean it up, but I don't know if I will. But it came with the plane. The only reason I bought the set is because I wanted this. It is a Stanley bullnose plane. It is in a little bit of rough shape. The blade has some rust on it. This has some rust along the back side. And the sole and the edges, of course, are full of crap. It feels like somebody put oil on it or something to try and protect it, and it's not very smooth. It grabs, and it leaves almost like a rust colored stuff on it. So we're going to clean this up in a later video. But I was looking at it and I pulled it apart, and it's an original screw. The inside, it's still shiny, it's dirty, it needs to be cleaned. The finish on the overall thing is not bad. Excuse me. There is some rust here and there where things have rubbed, but all in all, it's very tight, and I feel it's going to be usable. It's, normally you get some of these and the thing is loose, or the screw wasn't tightened down right, it's loose. But this one, everything's nice and tight. It's ready to go to work. The only thing necessary is, well, the blade's sharp too. It does have a couple of small nicks in it, but those can be corrected with a good honing. Got to take the rust off the blade anyways. This thing's set here. Not that tight. A little tight. Okay. There we go. Put the chip breaker back in. Actually, it's not much of a chip breaker, but put the hole down for the iron. But that will be in a future video. I'm going to go through what I do to clean it up, get the blade cleaned up, so it's back to being shiny, get the paint cleaned up and everything, and we'll go over it from there. Like I said, I like old tools. I could have gone out and bought a new one. It would have cost me, I don't know, $70, $80. I got this one with the file here. I picked it up for $12. Yeah, I've got to do a little work with it to get it to clean up, but it's a Stanley. It's an old hand tool. There's nothing wrong with it. Just needs to be cleaned. And I only paid $12. So, and I happen to like Stanley tools, old ones. But the price, you can't beat it. Like I said, it needs some work, but it's not bad. Like I said, I got it off of eBay. If you go and look, you should be able to find one for a comparable price. Next thing, another eBay find was this set of brace bits. I've got a a 5/16 and a 10/16 or 1/2 inch. This one here, crap, I can't remember the company. It's one of the big manufacturers from early 1900s. Excellent bit. It's a 5/16. It cleans out the stuff nice, but these need to be, of course, cleaned up. They've been sitting somewhere and have rust on them. You clean them up to where they're nice and shiny. This one here is a Lakeside tool bit. Nice bit, very well machined, and it'll provide some nice service. This one here, this is a Riverside tool, adjustable bit for a hand brace. Bought this. I've got a hand brace on the way. Actually, I've got two coming, both of which are Stanley's. I happen to like the Stanley's jaw configuration. But this is an adjustable bit. It goes from about 1 inch to 1.25 inches. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do you want a bit that does that? Well, if you're doing some work where you need to have a hole that's a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, with a modern bit, you can't do that. Okay. Now, this here is 1.25 inches. Let me step back here. I'm going to go over here to my thing. I'm going to grab 1.25 inches Forstner. Now, let's say you're trying to peg something with 1.25 inches dowel. That's 1.25 inches Forstner bit. You're going to come up with a full 1.25 inches hole. Okay? With this, that's actually a little bit over 1.25 inches. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see what we got here. Actually, I have to set up a little bit higher than what it should be. I'm going to grab a caliper. Alright, I've got my caliper here. It's a machinist caliper, but it does the same thing. I want to see what this is going to be from here to here. 0.852, okay, which is 0.852 is, now, this is always good